this video, a lot of heartache, all for sports. You know who I'm going back into. The face on the screen. The man of the week, Kevin Durant, coming back to help his Golden State Warriors try to beat the Toronto Raptors. We'll get into another video quickly, but this is a quick look. If you haven't seen the articles out there, I hate to do this, but there's stats on here, so I said, man, I love stats. What happens after the Achilles? Obviously, the one point that Kevin Durant needs to look at immediately is DeMarcus Cousins, right? This is a guy that came back pretty quickly from his Achilles injury. Now, remember the age, folks. He was 27 years old. He averaged 21 and 11, and he's come back in 30 games to average 16 and 8. In my opinion, he is on the road back to being DeMarcus Cousins, and I think he will get back to maybe a 20 and 10 type of point percentage once he has fully recovered, because he's just still coming back to the Warriors. Remember, the 18th is when he came back to the team. So that is a great example. However, he does look slower, but he's going to look slower because anytime you're off of basketball for a while, especially at that level and at his size, it probably takes 6-7 months to come back. We may see the full DeMarcus Cousins next year. But then again, the main thing that we got to look at is his age. He's only 27. Next up, they were talking about this in the news today. Big time talking about Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay. Well, Rudy Gay is a better example of a player that has returned with a similar skill set as Kevin Durant. He's not nearly as athletic. He injured it at 30 years old, and let's say now 2 years now, he's about 32. He still has not regained, from a stat perspective, what he had. But be advised, he's playing for the rebuilding Kings, who are looking to get their young players in play. So that may be a reason. The other thing is, when he was traded over to the Spurs kind of have their scheme. And, no one really scores 25 and 10, especially when you got DeMar DeRozan and a couple of young talents coming back in, DeJounte Murray, etc. So, of course, you can't expect Rudy Gay to come back and give you a big, 18 and 6 that he did previously. But I've seen some games where he still has his leaping ability. He does look like he's lost a step. But again, it's just interesting to look at how he has recovered, and he really hasn't had an injury. But he's been a dutiful player in the NBA. Wes Matthews is a great example. I know people want to shade this off, but he had, but again, look at the age, 28 years old, right? 30 looks like to be the mark you're in trouble. Wes Matthews averaged 14 and 3 previous, and everyone remembers the Wes Matthews run on the Blazers, which got him a big contract with the Mavericks. He is a role player, but however, he still does similar things to Kevin Durant, less athletic, obviously, but you can see the point percentage and the change. He's not as bouncy a player, just like DeMarcus Cousins is not as bouncy a player as Kevin Durant, but they are quite similar in their shooting skill set and their ability to use their skills, the three-point threat, triple threat, I meant to say, Carmelo-esque type moves in the post if available. That's why I think Durant goes after this injury, and Wes Matthews is proven to be still a legitimate scorer and is still in the league playing. Brandon Jennings, I'm going to skip over that. He never returned. Kobe Bryant. Okay, so he returned. Remember I said this, a shell of himself. I said in the last video, if you were able to watch it, he got injured at 34 years old. He was averaging 25 and 5. And he came back 107 games later. So do the math on that. Yeah, every game every 2 days times 30 days in a month. Let's go with 18, 10. Let's say 8-9 months. And it usually takes a year to recover. So people are saying, well, Kobe never was the same. However, look at the points per game. It is the skill that you're paying for now with Kevin Durant. And the other thing, the advantage of Kevin Durant is his size, right? If you go to Kevin Durant's size, how tall is Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant's reach. He's huge. I mean, Kevin Durant is freaking huge. It's ridiculous. I mean, he's He's listed as he's actually 6'11". He's 7 foot. Okay, where's his wingspan at? Where's the wingspan? That's what I want to see. Of course, this site doesn't throw that out there. But his wingspan, I mean, you're clearly looking at a player that doesn't necessarily need bounce to get a shot off, right? So 7'5" wingspan, right? I mean, these are things that you need to look at. 7'5" wingspan. Who's really gonna touch that, right? Right? Who is really going to touch that? He's still going to be the player he was from a scoring perspective, in my opinion. It's going to be a little bit less points because he's going to have less drives. I talked about this. Like I said, there's a little bit of worry, but Kevin Durant reminds let's go Kobe. Kobe still had the skill, and he still averaged 19 and 5. Right now, I'm rounding up. So I think that's a great example. He did lose some bounce, but then again, he didn't really stay long enough for us to see how that recovery would be, because I think it takes about a year to rehab, and then a year to fully get back to where you were at least, right? So we didn't see that. Kobe ended it after 107 games after the Achilles, and after that, and again, let's say puts the comment in there. He did try to come back, played the 3 seasons after the Achilles, and essentially ended his career. So maybe I'm wrong. So that's a wrong statement by me. It looks like he did try to come back, and this is the best he could do. However, he was at 34, and no offense, 35 in the NBA is almost kryptonite, and we can see it here. Chauncey Billups, gone, right? Gone. Okay. 15, and went after the injury, only played 41 games. Bye-bye. Okay, let's not talk about him. Elton Brand, well, he was truly a shell of himself. Okay, so I agree with that. And then Patrick Ewing, wow, 36 years old. So everybody, now Elton Brand is surprising. He's one of the younger guys that didn't fully recover after the Achilles. Then again, the surgeries and the technology wasn't as good back then. It looks like everyone pre-2013 or 2012, I'm starting to think of Kobe right here, 2013 had trouble, and maybe the medical procedures are better at this time. That's me speculating, because the best of the best has been Dominique Wilkins, and I think that's all that Kevin Durant should look at. Dominique Wilkins was averaging 26, and he came back averaging 25. Okay, so this is exactly what he needs. He needs to stick with Dominique all day and DeMarcus Cousins, and not look at anybody else. Not look at Elgin Baylor, not look at Elton Brand or Brandon Jennings. He needs to focus on Dominique Wilkins as his point of reference in his recovery. He got to look at Dominique Wilkins, because he's come back strong. Again, I don't really know what type of grade of Achilles tear it was. It sounds like it's a full rupture. I don't know that much intricacy about those injuries. But my thing is, just looking at it from a high level, I'm going with my man, Dominique Wilkins. You focus on him. Ryan Howard, boy, oof, gone. Yeah, gone. I don't know, Zach Britton. I want to go to NFL and try to find anybody. NFL players usually come back stronger, but they're not bouncing as much as, well, that's a lie, but a basketball player. So, it's hard to compare these guys. But that's NFL players seem to recover better than NBA players, but again, it's a different skill set. You can see some hockey players as well, but this kid was 22 years old, and Eric Carlson, he returned back to All-Star form, but he was 22 years old. His bones still ready to heal themselves, as I call it. But Richard Sherman is another guy. Yeah, he's disappeared. And Des Bryant, we shall see. He's at the kryptonite, the 30 years old. So just examples quickly. Instead of you guys trying to read all through this, I just put it up, threw a video up, and said, let me just put this out there for you guys to see. Hey, who was out there from a Achilles injury perspective, and who was returned? Check it out. I think KD, with his lightness, his slight of frame, his length, I don't think we'll see a 32-point scorer a game. I know he's never got there, but I think he would have been that type of scorer. back down to about 25 points per game scored because of his length. He doesn't need the Achilles as much as, let's say, a Brandon Jennings, a point guard, who has to explode every. He's not a point guard. Kevin Durant does get his shots off the dribble, but you got to also remember he injured his off foot, so it's not his left what he pushes off of, it's the other foot. So that was makes it interesting as well. He'll still have the left, and I think he'll still be able to jump off the left as well. So guys, be aware of that. His shots may be only gone on the right hand side. Compensation could play an issue, right? He may overcompensate the left, and that may go as well. But I don't want to jinx him. I think we have somebody that's going to return to a good enough form to help a team. All Four Sports, I'm signing out. Peace.